I've been thinking about something. I've got a friend of mine in the program. He was one of those that got sober through Zoom. There's quite a number of people that got sober during the pandemic. For example, he's got 2 years of sobriety and been to maybe 3 in-person meetings. And one of them was a speaker meeting where I was speaking. He's not well versed in the face-to-face meetings. Since the pandemic, Zoom has kind of fallen off, which means that he's not getting any meetings in. I'm afraid for him because, as an alcoholic, it's really easy for me to think to myself, well, I've been sober this long, I'm good to go, man. I have reached sobriety and I'm good to go. Sobriety it's not that cut and dry. As an alcoholic, sobriety is not a destination. It's a journey. And that journey has to continue on. When I was traveling, I had places I wanted to visit and things like that, and I was traveling in a motorhome. So there were places that I wanted to stop and visit, but let me tell you something, the journey itself far outweighed the destination. You can imagine driving a motorhome through the mountains or through the desert, and I'm pulling a car behind it. So it was quite an adventure, just the journey itself. So I look at sobriety the same way. It is a journey. It is not a destination. I've heard many times, well, how do you graduate from this program? That's only if it's a destination. And it is not a destination. Not for an alcoholic. I've heard it said that a true winner in AA is someone who dies sober. So, if you need a destination, maybe that's the destination we're looking for. The journey of sobriety is what we call recovery. Recovery is not an event, it's a process. It's not the destination so much as it is the journey, and recovery is not an event, it's a process. But let me tell you something. So is relapse. Relapse is not an event, it is a process. It's a process that begins small and seemingly innocent. Small things like, I don't really have to tell the truth on that particular thing, or something that you said to someone, oh, it wasn't that bad. I don't really have to get to a meeting tonight. Little things, okay? Relapse is kind of like a slow fade. And I'm speaking from experience here. I've done it many, many times. Thank God it hasn't happened in over 15 years now. But I still remember, and I'll never forget, not only the relapse, but how it made me feel. It makes it very difficult to get back on the wagon. Relapse is a tough thing to deal with. If you have not relapsed, I suggest you don't, because it's not pleasant at all. So anyway, so we've got destinations and journeys and events and processes. This is the new vocabulary for recovery, I guess. I am on the journey of recovery. And it's not always a perfect journey, believe me. But it is a journey, and it's just like in driving the motor home through the mountains. It can be adventurous. It really can. But it can also be, crossing the plains. It can get kind of boring sometimes because there's nothing going on. And me, heck, I was a chaos junkie. I loved that lifestyle out there, and that was one of the things that I missed when I first got sober was, there's nothing going on. That was bothersome to me. Now, look at this. There's nothing going on. Isn't that great? It's perfect. There's nothing going on. Like I've said many times, in the big book, it says that we have a daily reprieve. That means that I've got to do something every single day. I can't just let it slide, A fellow I used to sponsor, he says, my sobriety has a 72-hour shelf life. Well, 72 hours, that's pushing it, pal. Mine only has a 24-hour. And I know that about myself, which is why I'm all in. When it comes to recovery, I'm all in. There's no part of me that is trying to, let's simplify this thing, or, let's cut back on some of this stuff, that kind of thing. The main thing is that every day I have to do, I shouldn't say I have to. Every day I get to do something about my recovery. I jump on the train of recovery and begin the journey all over again every single day. And it's a fantastic journey. And the destination, who knows? Die sober, whatever. The main thing is that I'm on the journey. So the big book says that we have a daily reprieve, contingent upon the maintenance of our spiritual condition. I've touched on this before as well. I have to maintain my spiritual condition. I have to be a part of this thing on a daily basis. I don't know about you guys, but I can't afford any more relapse. I can't afford to destroy my life any more than I already have in the past. Those days are behind me now. And the way that I do that, keep it behind me, is I stay in this particular day. My recovery is all about right here, right now. What am I doing about it today? I can't say, well, yeah, but I went to a meeting yesterday and I talked to another alcoholic yesterday. That's not enough. That was yesterday. It's gone. What are you doing about your sobriety today? There was a guy that used to come to meetings when I first was getting sober. And, if the chairperson says, does anybody have a topic for the meeting? He would always say, yeah, tell me how you stayed sober today. What did you do today to stay sober? It's a very good question and a good topic for a meeting. That breaks it down into just today. I don't want to know how long you've been sober. I don't want to know, what you've done in the past for sobriety. I want to know what you did today. What are you doing right now to stay sober? Because that's the most important thing you can possibly do right now. So if you're one of those who has gotten sober through the Zoom meetings and Zoom has fallen off, I suggest you get to those in-person meetings. Get through the discomfort of meeting new people or whatever it takes. We all had to do it, each and every one of us, and we know what that feels like. So, like my sponsor used to say, build a bridge and get over it. Move on. Continue on your journey of sobriety. The only destination that I've heard of is dying sober. And I'm not quite ready to get there yet. Before I die sober, I want to live sober. And that's what recovery is all about for me, living sober. So Again, if you haven't been to meetings, I encourage you to get to meetings. I encourage you to call your sponsor. I encourage you to get involved, be a part of the program, get involved in service, do whatever you can to stay sober, because that's the bottom line. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.